We don't have a lot of time for this. That's 4. I don't need this anymore. Shoot. Like I said, should be prior knowledge for you guys. You either learned this in 6th or 7th grade. Just give me 1 second. Matt, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And pass these out to peeps?
No problem.
Thank you.
What is IV and those 3 lines?
Those are Roman numerals.
I don't know.
This is 4 and that's 3.
Okay.
1 second, Ethan. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is it 1, 2, wait.
Nope.
No, 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Oh, there's some more in the basket. All right, Ethan.
I didn't vote for it. My parents didn't vote. They wouldn't vote for it.
Awesome.
I'm a genius.
All right, 8th graders, I need your attention. I'm guessing most of you guys should have finished up. So for 10, write the corresponding pair to point D. So that means what is D? So what do you get for D? Demarian, what did you get?
Hold on, let me check.
Hey, quiet in the peanut gallery. Right now? Oh, then you can go. All right, but what did you get? Before you go, what did you get? Yeah, for number 10.
Number 10, -5 and 0.
Perfect. Awesome. You can leave. All right, 11. What was the point for point H? Caitlin, what did you get?
3 and -5.
3 and -5. Is that what everyone got?
That's what I got. 5 and -3.
I got -.
Oh, that's... Well, luckily you got a starting point. All right, 8th graders, I'm going to continue on. What is the point for -2 and 4? Brady. F. Yes. F is right. All right, 13. What did someone get? 13, yep. Jimena. What did you get? G. Jimena got G. Did everyone got G for 13? C. So, Brandon, how did you get C?
No, I meant C as in yes.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, 14. What did we get for how many letters are in quadrant 4?
10. What do you mean by quadrant 4?
That's what it means for the IV.
4. Oh, I got, no, I got,
I'm gonna go with this table. Regan, what did you get? Yep, B and H should be in quadrant 4. And what did people get for 15 for quadrant 3? Autumn, what did you get? E and C, yes. So this is just to check to see how you guys are doing. So if you guys don't know how to plot points, woohoo, we're going to be going through this like I'm a grandma on a walker. So I'm going to go and go off to an example. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to walk you through this. So I want you to have out your sticky notes for this, if you haven't already. And put this in your notebook. Yes, just keep that. So I would listen up because your exit assessment, it's going to look exactly like this. If you don't know what's going on, it might be a good time to ask questions. But I'll be walking through this to begin with. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our number right here. Y equals negative 2x plus 1. So what's the first thing I need to do? Regan, what's the first thing I might need to do? All right, so going back to the board that you guys did for your notes, the first thing that I would do is put down your table. So you have a table for X and Y. So I put down this to begin with. X and Y are your independent and dependent variables. X is considered independent because we can put in any number for X and we get something for Y. I don't know if I mentioned it with you guys, but just imagine yourself, you're going off to grab a soda because you're thirsty or water, and you're going to the vending machine and it costs $1 to get a soda or water. So if you brought $1, put it into the vending machine, how much money are you going to get back? Yeah, nothing. Let's say you have a $2 bill and you're just so thirsty that you really want to waste one of those precious $2 bills. So you put it in the machine, how much money are you going to get back? Yeah, $1. Now, the US government decided to make a $3 bill for some reason. So you put a $3 bill in, what do you get for a change? $2. So this is what we're doing with this graph right up here, ladies and gentlemen. So our X, we can put in any number for X. We can put in 1, 5, or 10. I would listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because I really don't want to reteach this again. So X, we can put in anything. Put in 10, 20, 30. When it comes down to this, we need a positive number, a negative number, and a third number. So the three numbers that everyone should use is -1, 0, and 1. It's simple. If you want to go with 80, go for it, but it's not going to help you out. So I would start with these numbers. From here, we have to plug this number in for X, because all these are numbers for X. So we plug in -1. So if you are really, really confused on how things should go for this, then write it like this. Y equals -2, parentheses, -1, plus 1. Y equals, -2, parentheses, 0, plus 1. And Y equals -2x, or not 2x, 1 plus 1. This is just showing you that we are plugging in these numbers for X. So, with your calculators, what did I get for this one? It's for someone who has a calculator. Raise your hand if you got it. Holden, what do we get? 3. All right, what about for the second one down here? Regan? 1. And for the last one? -1. Excellent. So, from here, we have all our numbers at our table. I would put them into this form, a point form. So you have to put it in X and Y. So from here, you just read it like a book. You got, whoops, -1, comma 3, 0, comma 1, and then we have, whoops, 1, comma -1. So those are our points. So as soon as we get into the graph form, I don't want, for this purpose only, for your notes, you can do it what I'm doing on here. Once it comes to homework and all that stuff, I want graphs to be done on these sheets of paper. It's nicer, it's neater, and it looks a lot cleaner. And it's easier for me to look at, see if you guys understand it or not. Because you're going to have 1, probably like 2 down here, and 3, 4. So it's going to look a lot neater if it's just on graph paper. But for this example.
Now, another thing with this, just so you guys understand, with this X and Y, we know that this is X and Y, correct? Yep. Okay. Another way of looking at this is once you get these pairs done, you can just circle those. Those are your ordered pairs. Okay? So Mr. Dorse was talking about that point form, or those are ordered pairs. You've probably heard of that term before, correct? You have an ordered pair here, and then you graph them out. Yeah. Exactly the same thing. So you kind of use that prior knowledge that you have about ordered pairs.
So I'm just going to create some room for this. So now we have our ordered pairs. So from here, we're going to point this onto the graph. And in your notes, you can do it this way. We have -1, so am I going this way or this way? Yes, I'm going this way. -1. Am I going up or down for 3? Up. So we're right there. 0, 1, whoops, right there, and then 1 and -1. So if I were to draw my graph, whoops, it should connect all the lines together. That's why I said it's easier to do it with your graphing paper. Once you're drawing lines, we have straight edges, so you probably see your protractors there. Those are considered straight edges, so you can easily just mark it straight across. Your line should make it through all 3 points. That's why we have the 3 points. The line itself is supposed to represent all the x's that equal to y. So for instance, let's look at this number right here. What is that point right there? Look at this one right here. Holden, what is it?
2, -2?
Yep. No, not on the -2 part. It's 1, 2.
Oh, wait, I thought that was an up one. It's 2, -3?
Yep, 2, -3. So if I were to put this into our x, so -2 times 2, what does that equal? -4 plus 1. Yes, -3. So even if I continue on, that point should line up with the linear graph itself too. I mentioned this before with you guys. We're doing like the 5 scale, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on a scale of 1 through 5, how confident are you guys feeling about this right here? Okay. I'm going to do one. Actually, I don't think I can do an example for this one. Here are all the answers for it. Yeah. So you can see they put up a box like this as well too, a table. This is very important. We need to have this table. And then they also have our ordered pairs too, and they graphed it. Unfortunately, you're not able to check your answer once you graph it. For added practice, I can give you guys the online version. But when it comes to the test, there's really no good way to check it. If you really, really wanted to check it, plug in another number x, like for instance 4, and then go from there and see if it fits along the line. If it does, then most likely you got it right. So,
Hold on,
Sure.
Right? So what Mr. Dorst was.
Oops.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? I know how I feel. All right? So we can go ahead and look at this. Give me another value for x. Don't care. We already have two. We have -1, 0. Okay. Let's try to keep it within our label here. So let's go 4. Okay. So if you plug 4 in here, -2 times 4 is? -8 plus 1 is going to be 9. Does this look like eventually if we went out to 4 and we keep going down, is that going to probably hit 9? That makes sense, right? So that's what the points are. We understand what that middle point of that graph is. What is it called? Origin. Yeah, right here, smack that, origin, 0, 0. Everything starts from that origin. If it's a positive number in your value, you're going which way?
To right.
Negative?
Or left.
If it's your y-axis, or y value, if it's positive, it's going?
Up.
And?
Down.
Question, someone had their eye.
So for the -1,
Yep.
it's -2, and then the parentheses, is that -1 just going in for like x?
Yes, that's it. Did you talk about dependent and independent variable?
Yes, a little bit. I use the example that it's basically like going off to a vending machine. You put in $1 and it costs $1 and all that. So your independent variable in this case would be the money, and the dependent would be the machine itself. That's what it means by independent. Independent could mean any number, and your independent is always x. So you can put in any number for x to get y. Y depends on x. Let's try this on our own. I will help out those who need help. So just raise your hand and I will help you out as best as possible.
Or slide over here. I'll do it with you.
Should this be an example?
Yes, so put it down in your notes for this one.
Do you want us to do this on our tables?
If you'd like to, if you understand it, then yes. If not, I put it in your notes. Oh, excellent. All right, how's it going, Dakota?
Mine's way too don't know what to do. No, because that's just common. I know that we had to, I think, add, we had to times it by 3, or like, whatever the number is.
Mm-hmm.
So then the graph part loses every time.
Okay. So let's first start out with what we have for the example.
So if I'm at -1 and I'm going
All right, so now we have to put in a table.
1 minus -0. Minus 3.
So we have our x first and then our y. And for our x, we should just keep it -1, 0, and 1. From here, we can just plug in the -1 for x. So you can use your calculator for this. Be -1/2 minus 3. Yes, if you got to that point, put in your order pairs and then, yeah, put it in a graph form.
F2.
For your graph, put it on here.
Okay. All right, here's your points.
Can we just do like 1, like -1, 0 times?
Yep. You can always use those numbers for x.
Is this correct so far?
Looks like so far so good.
That's really easy.
Yeah, once you do it, it's probably easier. So it probably doesn't help that I'm staying up there and teaching it and showing all these examples if you're not able to do it. How's this table doing? Not good?
So the answer you get for timesing 1/2 times what numbers up here is what you put here, or do you actually
Yep.
solve the thing?
So if you times -1 by 1/2 and subtract 3, that right there is your y.
So negative 0.5 minus 3, which is negative 3.5, so that would be the answer.
Yep.
Sometimes we do that.
But x is 1. 1/2 times x would be 0.5, right?
Yeah, see, here's another.
X times 1.
X times.
So you got 0.5 minus 3.
No, wait. Yeah, 0.5 minus 3 is negative 2.5, right?
Yep.
So you just like go right in the middle
Yep.
of like 2 lines.
Yeah, that would work. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are graphing already and you have halves, you just put it between the numbers. So like for instance, if you have 2/2, you put it between 2 and 3.
Where do you graph it on here?
Yes, graph it on there. Yep.
Or wait, no, or wouldn't it be 2.5? Because you have, yeah, it would be 2.5.
Oh, yeah, the negative 3.5 is -1. How's this table doing? Golden? Yeah. No. Because I did that when I was in middle school.
I did this wrong.
Okay.
Like we don't understand how you plug it in.
So this is all your x's. So you can just put -1 in for x. So it's half times -1.
I think I did this wrong because isn't it supposed to make a straight line your points?
Yep.
Oh, I did this really wrong.
Anyways.
Hold on. Yep, that's what you get for multiplying, then you have to subtract it by 3. And that would be your answer. So -3/2 would go right there. Do you ladies have it?
I just didn't think that was right.
Okay.
So it's right if it forms a straight line.
Yep, the dots itself should look like it's forming a straight line.
Cross that negative 3 is a negative 3. Yep.
If you haven't already, try to graph it too. Okay. Is this your? Okay. I gotcha. So just make sure, like, when it comes to like tests and all that, that the line itself stretches throughout the entire graph. Otherwise, you're doing great. It's great. You got it, Ethan?
Right now you have, when x
Okay.
equals 0, it's going to be positive 3.
Writing out like the thing where I have like the parentheses or whatever, could you do it like this?
This is it.
Yes, you can do it that way.
Half times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3 is positive 3.
Wait, were we supposed to put them on this?
Yes, once you're done with this, then you put the graph on here. That's what we're going to be looking for when it comes to the test itself. So you do this step, then you go up to this step, and then you take your order pairs and then put them on the graph and graph them.
I'm actually sick. I have allergies.
Hey, come here. Explain to me where you get
How's it going, Josh?
Oh, what?
How are you doing?
Doing anything. He's drawing smiley face Sam.
Is this helping you out? Not really.
Just all the work. I'm not going to single her out, but that was weird. I would never talk bad about school. Farmer classmates. Never.
Would you?
Never.
Did you got all the ordered pairs then? Yeah. Okay, did you graph it? So that's the last step that you need to do.
Yes, don't break them.
That was last year.
All right, 8th graders, I need your attention towards this board now. So if you just finish up what you have, and then I'm just going to have some volunteers help me out through this problem. So I wrote down the equation. What's the first thing I need to do? Ailish, what's the first thing?
You need to make like the box with X, Y.
Yes, so I create the box right here with X and Y. Give me some numbers. What's one number that you use, Josh? 2. What's another number that I could use? Brady, what's another number that you had?
0.
0. And Nina, we already have 2 up here. -2. Let's go with that. All right. 2 times half.
Hold on, why would you use those numbers? Why wouldn't you use 1? Because up to this point, you could use 1, right? But why would 2 be a better number here? Nina, thanks for raising your hand. Okay, fraction, help you guys out. Remember fractions are friends?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are for this thing.
When you're dividing with fractions, you're basically dividing here, right? You're taking half of this. Use the denominator for your numbers that you choose, a positive one or a negative one. It'll make it a lot easier for you. Pro pointer of today, that's all I got.
So 2 times a half, what is that? Raise your hand if you got the answer. Lucas, what did you get? 1, and subtract 3 from that, Lucas? -2. 0 times a half is 0, minus 3 would be -3, and going in order would be -4. All right, so what's the next step from this table that I have to do next? Maggie? Order point form? Yes, or order pairs, yeah. So we circle these up. 2, -2, 0, 3, and -2, -4. What's the last thing we need to do for this one? Lilo, what's the last thing we need to do? Yeah, so I'm going to make this graph. For this one, I hope you guys use the graph paper. And I just plug it in, 2, -2, 0, 3, right up here. And then we got -2 and -4, which I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Oh, yes. Thanks, guys. -3, and then we got -2, -4. Is that what you guys had for a line? Raise your hand if that's what you had.
No one got it right.
What if we had different numbers?
Did anyone get to the graphing part? Is this what you had for a line?
Yeah, somewhat. I saw mine.
So this is not a perfect, if I were to graph it on graphing paper, it would look a lot better. So if you had something close to this, you're probably on the right track. Yes, Tegan? Oh, you didn't have. Oh, you just used like 1 and -1? That's usually what we go with. All right, show me 5. How are you guys feeling on this?
Well, on the graphing part,
On the whole thing.
Entire thing. So let's just take this step by step. How you guys feeling for this first step right here? Just show me. Just show me with numbers. Don't give me all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and count your way up. All right. How about right here for this part, if you're understanding? Yep, making these ordered pairs. How about this last part of graphing? Okay, so from what I saw, I don't know how the back table's feeling. Back table, how you feeling with all this?
Great.
Golden? On a scale of 1 to 5, how you guys feeling? A 3? Would you like me to go through one more? Would you like another example? Or are you guys ready to move on? Because once we move on, we're going to hit these things right here. I didn't get to this part with the last class, but I know you guys are a bunch of high flyers. So if you're feeling golden, we're going to keep on going on. Otherwise, if you're ready, let's do one more example. Just do, for right now, just do number 1. And I know this one just gave you 2, but I want you to put down 3 boxes. So it gave you 2 boxes, so you have to put on an additional 3rd box. You can write it with y up here and then just have it y or xy. Yep, that's perfectly fine. Oh, so you're plugging in x, so put -1, 0, and 1. And what we're doing is plug in -1 in for x, 0 in for x, and 1 in for x. If you'd like to, you can talk with your group mates too and see how they're doing. You don't know how to do this?
No, I do.
Okay.
I have a problem because I can't freaking read it.
Number 1, you're graphing.
Which one's that?
Then you can go up closer to get the numbers and then come back.
Well, I know what the numbers are. I can't see them.
You might have to explain to Phyllis here.
Okay. So what you're going to do is put on boxes like you did for that. And then all you have to do is plug x or like -1 in for x and go from there.
But if you do that every time?
Yep, for all 3 of the boxes. For the first one, yes. You are golden with that. I graph it on your paper. Yes. No. Subnina. That looks right to me. Other than what you're using -1. -1's right, or 1's right there, and yeah. So you put 1 right over here, should be right over there. So now create the straight line. Like I said, if one of your table mates is struggling, help them out. Yep. Perfect. You guys are golden with that one. So then just put it into a point slope form and then put it on the graph. You're golden. Yep. Could you do it? Because you're going to have to do it for the test itself. Yes, I believe so. I just had you do the first one. Perfect. If you'd like to, do the second one. All I want you guys to do is the first one. Do what I have. You do the table, then make it into the point forms, and then draw it on the graph. Yes.
I'm right, negative 1, 0, and 1. But there's a negative right here. So
Yep.
I make that a positive 1 then, minus 1?
Yep.
You said this is right?
Yep. 'Cause it's going to be a steeper slope. It's going to be a steeper slope.
Good.
Did I get this one wrong because I put square? Okay, so now how do I graph it? Negative 1 is right.
They should be flipped around.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Wait, why did you want does it count as like if I wouldn't do this one right, would it be wrong? Or do you think it doesn't?
I don't know for that one.
I know, but then I like the mark of 98.
Yes. Negative 0.5. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you guys to put your tests away for the time being. I think Mr. Halopka is still passing out, but you guys can look what you'll be doing later. Actually, what I'd like you guys to do for 2, if you haven't done it already, 2 is going to be your exit assessment. So I would like you guys to do what I have here. Do the tables, do the point forms, and then graph it. So this should be on a separate note sheet of paper. So this is going to be ripped up and it's going to be placed in the basket right up here. Yes, you're going to be graphing it. For the graph? No, just put it on the note piece. So you said you already graphed it?
Yes, I did. I grabbed it.
For 2? Okay, then just basically copy it and put it in your notebook.
So draw this out or something?
Just do all the steps and put this in your notebook.
Like this whole sheet?
Not just a whole sheet, just number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just doing number 2 for your exit assessment. So you're showing me all the steps it's going to take to get it. So you're including the tables, the points, and the graph itself. Notebook paper. Yes. Yes, I'd like you guys to graph it as well.
So you just make a graph from scrap paper then?
Yes. This is the only time I'm going to allow you guys to do it that way. Otherwise, the rest of the time it's on the graphing paper.
Wait, is that, what's that negative sign? Is that just what you do or what is that?
It's negative x plus 5.
Okay, I need some 50 times 1 would be negative 1.
Yep. Yes, so it's kind of like -1 times x. Yes, it should be right. This time I'll let you guys do it on your notebook. Just try to make it clean as possible. Got some, Luke?
Is that it?
Yes. So make sure you also have points, or the points. And then write your name and put it in the basket. 8th graders, once you're done with it, make sure to put your name on it and then put it right in the basket up here. This is your homework. Yes. No, you can just do it on your notebook. This is the only time I'll allow it on notebook paper. Keep the graph sheets. Yep.
Just this? Just the homework?
Yep, that's all you're going to be doing. Oops. Oops. Perfect. And then you just put it up in the basket. All right, just finish up with what you have. Make sure your name's on it, and you guys can get out of here. Need help, Dakota? I can help you out.
Fractions.
There's no fractions in here.
There's no fractions in
I don't like division.
All you're doing is plugging this -1 in for x. So you got negative times -1, which is just in that case. Plus 5. And, yep, so you put 6 right down there. And that's all you're doing.